So, how's life?
Life is good at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm going through some internal struggles, which some of the times I'm not sure of, but at least there's this fire inside of me that doesn't want to give up.
A fire, a burning
that wants to keep on going.
Okay.
Like Monday I had a very bad day for no reason, but Tuesday I woke up and everything was fine. And although there was this feeling of running away and this uneasiness,
What are you running from?
like I don't know.
You're just running.
Yeah, it's just this feeling of not wanting to do anything, and not wanting to face life.
What, like overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed with
Under your
whatever.
duvet, put the duvet over.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
But then the next morning it was fine.
What happens when you put the duvet over the fire?
Sure. I don't think it works.
Okay. What happens to the fire? What happens to?
There's this feeling of like a need, like I need to do this. I need to get up and go, and I need to like go and face whatever it is I'm doing, and not getting out of bed doesn't serve me.
Yeah. Okay. And when you get out of bed, what happens?
What happens? Like, I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm happy around my work people. I'm happy around doing what I love. I love working with people.
Where were you a year ago? Oh, that's a big sigh, huh?
So 1 year ago, I was like completely lost.
Are you okay to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because I mean, I can feel the emotion coming up in me, and and my voice quivers a bit. So.
Yeah. So 1 year ago, I was completely lost. I never kind of had a sense of direction, and although I did many things in my life, it never felt worth anything. It never gave me a reason to get out of bed in the morning. I always did kind of work and whatever stuff was worth life because I felt I needed to do it for the people that was in my life around me. Like I never did something that I truly wanted to do.
Okay. So you're kind of living for other people?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was that working out for you?
At the time I thought it was okay. Like I didn't know any other way. So it was working, although I was very lonely.
Okay. I want to talk about the drugs.
Okay.
I want to go straight to where you are. Just to give some context around what recovery coaching is and what we're trying to do here. So I think what we're trying to do is interview people, get their stories, and to kind of share stories and to try and get people's kokorozashi ignited. Yeah? And we'll explain what that is. But I mean, a year later, you know, you've got this fire inside you and you're charging forth in life, but it's hard.
Yeah.
But if you compare it to where you were, say, 18 months ago.
Yeah, like 18 months ago, I was using heavily, and I had no sense of job. I didn't really have an income. I was living with one of my friends, and I just didn't care. There was nothing to do.
So what happened? That's a big sign. Just remember, anytime if you want to stop. This isn't like, we don't really want to kind of rip your heart out and show it to the world to get, to kind of get gratification. But I really do want to kind of express like hope. Yeah. And
so what happened was, I used drugs and alcohol like my whole life since about the age of 15, and.
Good for you.
Good for me. And although I never saw it as a problem, like I felt I was a functioning user and it was the life I knew, Like I would work and drink and gamble and use and whatever. And it built up to a stage where I got married. And
that's enough to drive anyone to drink and drugs.
yeah, well, when I decided to get married, I stopped for a while.
Okay. Okay.
And then I kind of started again, and it just went the same as always. And when it came out to my wife that I was using, she asked me to go to rehab. I refused. She couldn't live with it anymore. I think maybe it made sense to her that all the lies that I've been telling all made sense at the same time, because then she knew, okay, well, he's using.
So you're hiding you're hiding your using, pretending to be something that you weren't,
yes.
and you just couldn't.
Yeah,
that's hard, eh?
Yeah,
carrying that to those.
Yeah,
and I know in families it's often not the using that's the problem; it's the lies and deceit around that. So yeah, okay.
And I think the feeling of betrayal left everybody kind of shocked. And then instead of
how did you feel about you?
I was angry. How like I was angry and selfish, and I was like, how dare they like tell me I have a problem? They don't know me.
And that's true.
Which was true. They didn't know me. I never gave them opportunity to get to know me. And
what were you angry about? That's another big.
I was angry about being caught out. Like, this is my life. Like, and I loved living that life.
Love drugs.
I loved it. Yeah.
It's
I loved partying. I loved using. I didn't like any of the consequences though.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean by consequences?
I
mean, if the consequence was partying and jawling and having fun.
Yeah, but then on the other side, there's work, and there's like having to be responsible, like fitching up, showing up, and people asking you lots of questions. Where were you? Why did you miss these meetings? Why aren't you there? You said you were going to do this, but you didn't do that.
And how did you feel about yourself when you couldn't stick to your word?
I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing about my life was partying and
it's like fuck whatever.
Yeah, like I took whatever was there so that I could live the lifestyle that I came accustomed to.
So what happened?
So I went and worked in Central Africa, and for the first time ever I was alone. Like I've never been alone. And for some or other reason I packed in a Bible, and I started reading the Bible, and I started getting into kind of a relationship with God. And
how did he feel about your using?
He didn't care.
Yeah, I know.
He like at the time he didn't care, and although I was using in Africa, I was searching for something else. Like I had this feeling of there has to be something more to this life. And then I was reflecting back on my life, thinking like I'm 29, 30 years old, and for the first time ever I looked at my father and what he did when he was 30, how many kids he's had, how many kids he's put through university, and I sat back and I thought, well, maybe he didn't do such a bad job as I thought he did.
Okay.
As I compared my life to his life, and that made me feel sad.
Okay.
For where my life went. Like I didn't start out as a 13-year-old to end up in Africa alone smoking crack.
Phew, that sounds sad. Huh? Very sad. Yeah, I mean, what you did there just kind of triggered for me. You know, when I had that kind of turning point in my life where I had that deep, honest kind of look at myself, and I compared myself to my father, the way he brought me up and the way I was behaving towards my kids, it's quite sad when I talk about it, but the shame of kind of realizing that my father had actually done a better job than me really kind of woke me up to sort my shit out. And it's that shame point that was a real turning point for me. So let's go back to you. You're in Africa, you're by yourself, you and your Bible, and you're smoking crack, and God loves you and He doesn't care that you're using, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
And your family's freaked out and worried. You're divorced now? Are you divorced now?
No, it's before I got married.
Oh, this is before you got married?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, okay.
Okay. So when I looked at my life, and it kind of freaked me out. Because I've always had this excuse of, like, I didn't have the best parents. Although...
My pa's alcoholist.
Exactly that. And my father was an alcoholic, he was a drinker. But then reflecting back on where I was and where he was, like, he by far did a better job than I did. And that freaked me out completely. And then I knew I had to do something.
Okay. It woke you up?
It woke me up. And then I never thought of stopping using that. That didn't cross my mind once, because I don't know. Okay,
great, cool, good. I'm with it. Okay. So you want to sort your life out, but you don't want to give up drinking drugs.
Yeah.
Because I don't blame you. They're nice. They're great.
I didn't see that as any part of the problem. So what I did was started working harder. Started trying to focus more on my work. I wasn't really committed at work ever, but I mean, it's kind of the job always got done. And then I decided, no, my next step in life is to be married.
Tick box.
Yeah.
I got the job, now get the wife.
Then I came back to South Africa. I asked my girlfriend to marry me, and I decided I'm going to quit my corporate job. I need to be humble, and I need to get away from the spotlight environment or the city. And I went to farm for my father-in-law, and I started going.
Tell us about the farming. I love it when you tell me about it.
So the farming was fun. It was awesome. For the first 3 or 4 months, I didn't use at all. I was working with my father-in-law every single day. He taught me so much. There's some kind of a blessing in working with an older person every single day and being in their presence, like learning, just embodied learning on how they do things, how they operate, how they run their business. It was a real blessing for me to work with somebody with that amount of knowledge for so long.
That moves me.
Yeah.
It moves me because I think we've lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know, the father kind of teaching this, the son, the tools of the trade.
Yeah.
Because there's a big kind of bonding in that.
Yeah. And then circumstances happened. I was moved to one of the other farms. I was left alone there. And I just started using again.
Because?
I felt lonely.
Okay. So that's how you justified it?
That's how I justified it. Okay. And
how was that strategy? Did it work for you?
It worked at the time.
Yeah.
Chicken farming is very intense, so using for me meant staying awake, and staying awake meant it's good for business.
Okay, cool.
And that was my other justification.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm working hard, this is good for business.
Yeah, I deserve
Let's smoke meth and slaughter chickens.
Yeah, basically like that. And I loved living on the farm. I loved the freedom.
How did you score?
So because it's my hometown that I grew up in, I had people just come out to the farm and deliver stuff for me.
Oh, so you just phone and people come to the farm, they deliver your meth, and you go and you boot and you farm.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it was good for a while.
Good.
It was good for a while.
And?
But then it wasn't sustainable.
Yeah, that's the trouble with amphetamines. People burn out.
Yeah. It wasn't sustainable. I started making some mistakes. It was picked up.
What kind of mistakes?
I wouldn't be there. I would be sleeping for maybe 1 or 2 days.
That's not a mistake. That's fucking catching up on sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would be kind of irrational and erratic and unsensible. You can't stay awake for many days and still Well, at the time I believed I was still fine, but the wheels were starting to come off, and everyone else was seeing it except me.
That's what's so traumatic for families, because everyone else kind of sees the person kind of going down the slope, and as you're going down, no, there's no problem, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it goes faster and faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
Yeah? What happened?
Like, my wife kind of found some of my stuff, and the family confronted me.
What, like an intervention?
Exactly like an intervention.
What's a Rustenburg intervention like?
It was, now that I look back at it, it came from a place of love and concern.
Okay.
And I didn't see it that way at the time, though. At the time I felt exposed.
Embarrassed. Judged.
Completely judged.
Shamed.
Yeah, and then I lied.
Huh?
And then I lied.
Because?
I didn't want them to think that I...
Pride.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I mean, we lie to kind of protect ourselves and to protect our families. It becomes a burden, it gets even more lonelier.
Yeah.
Is this okay for you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Do you want to start talking about somewhere else, or should we carry on?
Yeah, we can carry on.
Yeah, okay. What's helpful about this conversation?
Well, thinking about the past and what happened kind of puts in perspective my goals, my future goals, my plans.
Okay, so say 4 years ago, whatever,
Yeah.
that's what your life was like. And then on Monday you woke up with this fire and you want to hide under the duvet.
Yeah.
And so if you were to compare the levels of the problems from then and from now.
Like, I have no problems now.
Okay. That's a lovely smile.
I have no problems now.
But on Monday morning you thought you did.
Yeah.
It's funny that, huh?
Yeah, I think it's uneasiness, and I think for me personally, it's because it's kind of, this life is new to me. Like, I'm not used to not having problems to solve. I'm used to waking up in the mornings and having to put out fires, and lying to different kinds of parties to protect whatever was there. Now I'm just waking up in the morning with, like, I have nothing to worry about.
And that's scary.
Well, it's not scary, it's kind of unknown.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that is normal for people to kind of grow up in kind of alcoholic homes, or we're so used to the kind of the chaos of it all, that when things are calm, that's when we get panicky.
Yeah.
You know, well, certainly for me, I speak for myself, and often what I do, or what people do, is they kind of create the chaos around them to create the drama, to get the sense of well-being. And if you look at it from a neuroscience perspective, there are chemicals that get released in panic that like kind of make us feel good about ourselves. It's good to remember where you came from. Yeah, so it's good to remember the past, but not to live in it. And a lot of people, so what you don't want to kind of do is go and live in the drama of the past and the wound and all that sort of stuff. You've recovered from all of that now. Yeah. Now it's about how can you integrate and live the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
How do you feel about using?
Like, I have no need to use.
No need. What's that like?
It's good. Yeah.
What's it like waking up on a Monday morning and having to use?
It's draining, it's tiring.
It's like full-on job, 24/7.
It definitely is. And if I think about the worst days, the last kind of a year of my life, it kind of become like a burden. Like I don't want to go out unless I've used.
It's a prison, huh?
Yeah, and it's hectic.
That's what I love about the Afrikaans word for addiction, verslaafde. verslaafd, did I say it right?
Yeah.
Which is enslaved.
Yes.
And the substance that gave you the freedom in the beginning, then you start to serve.
Yeah. True.
Hey,
in the beginning, I thought that I've arrived and it set me free.
Yeah.
But in the end.
But it did set you free in the beginning, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome. I loved it.
Lekker, huh?
Yeah. I thought everybody lied to me.
Well, they did.
Like drugs is so good, it's not bad.
They did lie to you. I mean, this is the big challenge now, because I mean, when it comes to kind of addiction treatment or getting people to change their lives, telling people that drugs are bad it's just a lie, because drugs are fucking great. People love drugs. But what people don't realize is when they stop working and then you start to serve it, become enslaved. Okay. So now you're out of the prison?
Yep.
It's kind of scary, hey?
Sometimes it is. The one thing that I've realized this year is that although I meet a lot of people and it's easy for me to meet people and interact with people, it's very difficult for me to connect with people on a deeper level. And it's not from their side, it's from my side. Like I easily withdraw.
Attie, I disagree with you. Okay. No, seriously. Just take a breath here, because just sitting here with you, I feel very connected. And I see a man that's really kind of, wanting to make a difference in life and to wear his heart on his kind of sleeve. Yeah. He's very fucking courageous and honest. Yeah. And I'm not going to buy that lie. Yeah. You feel that?
Yeah.
I've really grown very fond of you, Attie. Yeah. And maybe we should leave it there, huh? But there's something very sacred about recovery, yeah. And I don't want you to believe those lies that you're not connected with people. Look, I mean, you're a white Afrikaner. It comes from fucking, Rustenburg, and I'm a South Peel, and the one thing with addiction is it brings everyone of all kind of different diversity together. And I think what we're trying to do with these stories and these interviews is to capture on film the connectedness. Yeah. Is that okay? Have I gone too schmaltzy?
No, it's fine.
Yeah?
It's good.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't believe that. Yeah. I think you're doing great. It can be overwhelming. It can be fucking scary. Intimacy is scary.
And I try very hard.
Mm.
Like I put a lot of effort in, and I think maybe I want more.
Yeah. Okay. So the one thing I want to kind of just bring it back to is you started off with this fire and this burn inside. Yeah. I would just kind of be cautious that you don't burn yourself out. Mm. Yeah. Like nurture that fire. Yeah. When do you need to put a log on it? Yeah. When do you need to just sit back and sit next to the fire and watch it like Bush TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think sometimes I get a little bit over-eager.
Passionate.
And
There's nothing wrong with that. No, it's great.
Everything.
Yeah, no, don't stifle that, please. It's fantastic. Yeah. Just don't get cocky with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to give advice, because I don't want it to come across as advice. I would rather kind of look at it like, be careful of that pothole and be careful of that there. Yeah. But it's your journey. Mm. Yeah. Oh, what's the next year ahead?
Yeah. So somebody told me that the first year is don't pick up, and the second year is don't give up.
Okay.
I don't know if that will be so true for me, but we'll see how it goes. Looking back on the year that has passed, I haven't seen so much growth in happiness and towards where I want to be in my life ever. So this was a very productive year for me. I think I've made some very good decisions, and like now that I'm a qualified recovery coach, like my fire and my passion is I want to love people. the way it was meant to be. And I want to learn how to be able to sit with the chaos and the crisis of other people and just like be there for them in a loving way without feeling the need to like change anything. Like, so I would love to this year grow personally to a space where I don't feel triggered or the need to fix or rescue other people. I just love them the way that it was supposed to.
That's so moving. Give us a hug, Attie.
Oh,
Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us.
thank you, David.